What's going on, guys? It's pretty sad what happened to this kid right here. We have to bring more awareness to child abuse, guys. Yeah, AV's here with me, guys. AV's here with me. I don't know if you guys know the Gabriel Hernandez story, but definitely needs a lot of attention. This is the type of corruption that we have in the systems, that these coward, public officials will make up crimes, falsely accuse you of stuff, put you in jail for photography and other made up lame crimes. But when it comes to the things that really matter on the street, they don't help. It's pretty sad that Gabriel lost his life. To the lack of intelligence of our public officials that couldn't recognize that this kid was in big time danger. He was in imminent danger. And the saddest thing about this story is that it happened to him within his family. The stepfather, the mother, what they made the other siblings do to him. Sad. No kid should suffer. No kid should have the blame. It's pretty sad how the system fails. The system fails us every day, guys. We'll blame that typo on AV Watchman, as he said it was Gabriel Hernandez. What a fool. But this is a very, very sad story, guys. Yep. Well, he definitely needs to be recognized for his loss of life, for the Thank you guys. I'll correct that in the title once we're done with this live feed. But so yeah, this really hits home because I don't understand how somebody can treat their children in such a manner. These children didn't ask to be brought to this earth, and they shouldn't have to suffer for for people's whatever they're going through. For somebody to have personal problems or drug problems or whatever it is, to blame that on your children or to put the burden on somebody else, or take out your anger on somebody helpless as this child. It's pretty coward. It's pretty coward for anybody to put their hands on kids, punch them like if they're adults. So yeah, apparently there was a bunch of people out here um, earlier, and I guess there was some type of police response. So that's how we caught wind of this situation out here, the memorial. Yeah, what's the really sad thing about this, guys, is that he had multiple reports. They were going through.
Everybody out here know about it. Out here, bro. You on live or what?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what happened. So you guys seen the Netflix series? If you haven't, you guys make sure you look it up. This is AB Watchman, guys. In my heard SUV. Little Gabriel was tortured by his parents, his mom and his stepdad, right? And supposedly none of the neighbors heard or knew anything that was going on. And if you look at the Netflix series, they don't even talk about neighbors on the Netflix series at all. So I had a few people right now come up to me, and they know who I am out here. They came up and they said, hey, do you guys mind if maybe you could walk through the apartments and ask some questions if anybody heard anything or why nobody ever stood up for him? The sheriff's department, they didn't do shit for him. Children's services, they didn't do shit for him at all. People complained and complained. The teachers tried to get involved, and they just kept on ignoring the situation. And little Gabriel is dead. And then 2 weeks later, another child was dead. Huh? That's how it all went down, guys. I didn't know you were even on the live until right now. You guys make sure you check it out on Netflix.
That was AV Watchmen, guys. But yeah, this story is it's a treacherous story. Something that you don't want to hear about. But this is happening every day out here, guys. We gotta bring awareness to child abuse. This is something that if you see something, you should say something. Something like this. I mean, photography shouldn't be people's number one priority to call the police. It should be child abuse, people getting battered and murdered and injured on the streets every day, and those are things that should be looked at closely. Not a photographer filming out in the front of a building. They should really be focused on these reports that come in because apparently none of the reports that came in for Gabriel were taken seriously. Everybody pointed the finger at him that he was he was just messed up and he wanted to give his parents a hard time. It's one of those cases where the parents are like, yeah, this kid's out of control, and in reality, it's the adult that's out of control. It's the parents that are out of control, and this young man even had deputies threaten him, directly. So go check out the documentary and be a part of sharing awareness for um, abused children um, across the nation, guys. This shouldn't happen to anybody. And CPS was involved. There were several cases opened up on just this situation right here, and all the cases were closed, stating that he was not in any type of danger, which was all a lie because the ending results um, were unfortunately were death for Gabriel. So we never want to see any of our children go through this or have to deal with tyrant parents, that beat up on their children thinking they're big, bad, and scary, standing up over a child, punching them like an adult. You know, several several reports were made, and nobody did anything for this kid right here. That's why we're out here today, guys. If you guys know anybody that's suffering, please try to get them help. Make reports, guys. These are reasons why we need to keep the children safe, because this happens too often. I've even seen kids that out in public get um, drugged back out to their vehicle, and who knows what happens beyond that. So these are the little things that we need a voice. We could be saving somebody's life in this case. But it's pretty sad. Pretty sad, guys. A lot of people just coming and going, paying their respects to little Gabriel out here. And it's pretty sad to know that this happened right beyond these doors here, right beyond these walls, where people try not to say anything because they're protecting their neighbors, but in reality, there could be somebody in imminent danger that is needing assistance, and for some of those situations, we shouldn't keep quiet. Especially if you live right next door and the wall that you join your neighbor with is being pounded on. You might want to figure out what's going on. This child was killed by his parents. His stepfather and his mother were very abusive. And if you guys haven't seen the Netflix series, please go visit Netflix.
She just told me that.
The name is Gabriel Fernandez.
She just told me that nobody heard anything that lives in the apartments, that he lived in apartment 7, and that the stepdad would cover his mouth suffocate him and put pillows over his face and then punch him in the face. And he went through hell, man.
Yeah, it's pretty jacked up.
He went through hell, man. No, apartment 8 is the grandfather's apartment. Apartment 7 was his apartment.
Yep, yep. So save a child, guys. Bring awareness to child abuse. Don't let your children fall victim. Whether it be your direct children, your stepchildren, your neighbors. We must protect our children. Um, they didn't ask to be brought to this world, and because we brought them here, we need to protect them as much as we can. Especially until they're able to, fend for themselves. Look at all the cars lighting up the wall. Yeah, share the link, guys. Hey, this is Lancaster or Palmdale?
Huh?
Palmdale or Lancaster?
This is Palmdale.
This is the city of Palmdale, guys. This is where the young man used to live, where he lost his life to the people that he trusted the most. Yep, all he wanted was love, Daniela. You're right about that. Just like all our children. Anybody that grew up in a abusive environment should definitely try to make the future of your children better. Live from your experience, make their life better. This shouldn't happen generation after generation. Somebody has to break the cycle, guys. The cycle should not continue, especially not in this type of matter. A lot of people ask why we audit CPS or county buildings. I don't think they should ask that question. We should stay on top of these facilities. Make sure they're helping the people that need help. Pretty sad to be out here, guys. This child was not killed by a cop. No. This child was under intense child abuse by his own parents. Appreciate you, Willie. Thank you guys all for being here. Very hard extraordinary, guys.
No one said anything. He reached out for so much help, and everybody just shut the damn door. He did everything right, and everybody just shut the door regardless. Yes, they did. There's, and you know what? There's so many of little Gabriels out here, but you know
They
we
don't
can't.
realize it.
Yeah, nobody realizes it because they're not paying attention.
She's speaking the
And people
truth.
need to start paying attention because it could be your neighbor, it could be your relative, it could be your niece or nephew.
That's good.
Yes.
There's a kid who's wearing a sack, and they do not pay attention to it.
And I called and they said there's not enough report about that. So for that, guys, I was saying that it was
Not a social worker who talks about the school. She was just a big amount of children. Big amount of children. Now it's very hard.
It's horrible, guys. Horrible situation. Thank you guys all for being here. Appreciate you, Raymond. Appreciate you all being a part of this. We definitely need to spread more awareness and try to protect our children out here, guys. And this helpless child, just like, people say, oh, he had it coming, she had it coming. I don't think a child ever has it coming. They say the same thing for women, abused women. Oh, she had it coming, she wouldn't close her mouth. It's pretty sad. Pretty sad. Pretty damn sad that this happens right under our noses and nobody does shit about it. Not even the goddamn county that's supposed to be in charge of, they take people's children away and, jail parents and whatnot for other things. But when it comes to their, getting reports of somebody getting extensively beat up on a daily basis, they do nothing about it. The signs were there, the reports were made, and they chose to say nope, he is not under any type of threat, just to brush it under the rug and move on to the next case. I hope that those people don't work for the county anymore. I know that they were under trial, and a lot of them, they were all let go with no charges. But I hope that they're not in any type of services that is providing care for anybody. They should be way far away from that. If they can't determine if a child is in danger in his own household, then they shouldn't try to judge or be a judge of anything. Oh, it's cold out here. Thank you, Daniela. I appreciate you.
Hey, you ready, bro? fucking lame ass sheriff's department didn't do shit.
Yep. Multiple calls to the police, multiple calls to CPS, multiple interactions with CPS and the family, and they didn't do shit about it. It's horrible.
They didn't do shit.
And this is happening on a daily basis, guys.
Hey, his mom would try to bring Gabriel shame and embarrass him and send him to school in dresses. They would. While we were at home sleeping, he was over here being beaten.
Yep, shoved in a cabinet, muffled,
Cabinet,
handcuffed, and not
burnt
only
with
that,
cigarettes.
but they were cigarette burns, and also they were feeding him cat feces because he wouldn't clean the cat litter properly, so they would make him eat it. You know, just horrible, horrible things that this kid suffered. When they did the autopsy, they found cat litter.
All you guys gotta do is watch the
Horrible.
film on Netflix, and you're gonna see halfway through it, you're gonna want to turn it off. It's gonna hurt your heart that bad.
People just keep pouring in to come pay their respects to little Gabriel. He'll never be able to fulfill the rest of his life the way it was expected when he was born, due to the people that love him. We're supposed to love him, should I say, and take care of him till his last day. If you know anybody that's suffering, guys, please make the call, get them help. Don't let them be another victim. You know, you can make anonymous phone calls. I wouldn't feel bad about it because you might save a life. Whether it be your neighbor, your family members, anybody. Somebody you just see in the street beating up their kids. You know, no kid should have to suffer no matter how out of control or whatever the situation is.
Does anybody have a lighter?
I got one.
AV Watcha. Yep, so hopefully you guys can spread the word, spread the message, bring awareness to what happens out here right under our noses, guys. And keep those public officials accountable as well, because they had a lot of responsibility in this situation. The sheriffs and CPS, everybody. You know, the case workers involved should be held accountable, and they weren't. And it wasn't just one; it was multiple cases. All cases were closed, determining that there was no threat to the child. It's fucked up. Break the cycle, guys. If you lived your life in an abusive family, don't. You have to break that cycle. The cycle should not continue on to the next generation. You have to be strong enough to break the cycle and let your children live a better life than you did. Don't cower up and treat them the way they treated you. People need to break the cycle. And that's the message today, guys. Break the cycle of life, live a better life. If you know you lived in an abusive upbringing, make a better life for the future of your children. Don't bring them up in the corruption or in the abuse that you had to suffer. I mean, just think about the pain and what you feel when your child even cuts themselves or injures their finger or something like that. Imagine what little Gabriel was going through every day of his life, being locked up in a cabinet, muffled with a sock in his mouth, and handcuffed. You know, and not only that, but when the social workers would come and inspect the house, he was locked up in a cabinet. You know, so it's pretty sad, pretty jacked up what our children have to go through. Hold on.
You let them know what the cops did earlier?
Huh?
You let them know what the cops did earlier? That means
No.
I'll show it to you.
Oh man, it's freaking cold out here. Hand is frozen.
My hands are frozen.
Yeah, I'd rather stand here frozen than to not be here in memory of little Gabriel Fernandez. My cold, my cold is nothing compared to what this guy suffered. Thank you, Betsy. Thank you guys all for being here. Yeah, earlier, make sure and visit AV Watchman's upload that he puts up next, guys. We were out cop watching, and of course, you know they know him by name out here. It's pretty dark, can't even see anything anymore, guys. Um, they know AV Watchman by name, so they call him up by name, and they ended up giving him a ticket claiming that he had a warrant for his arrest for some type of disturbance in public or something like that. So make sure and check out that upload. When you see it, you'll see the first-hand interaction of AV Watchman getting approached by the sheriffs claiming that he has a warrant. It's amazing. Oh man, it's freaking cold out here. I didn't get a ticket. It was AV Watchman that got a ticket, so you're gonna have to wait for his video to come out. Hopefully, he includes it in there. But they said it was a pedestrian stop, but they never stopped on us. We're the ones that walked up on them. So how is that a pedestrian stop? And what right did they have to look up his record and to determine that he had a warrant? You know, I'll let you guys answer that one. Definitely harassment. Definitely harassment, guys. Keep your thoughts and prayers positive for Gabriel, and know that he's definitely in a better place now. And that's really sad when you have to say that for a child. You know, I understand, you know, the elderly, sick and suffering and living their last days. You know, at that point you can say, yes, I'm glad that this person's in a better place. But poor little Gabriel didn't deserve uh, what he suffered. So you guys be well, stay safe out there. I'm gonna go ahead and let this one go and bring awareness to child abuse. Please help a child. Help a child in need, guys. There's a lot of children out there that you can even tell, you know, that they're just having, you just can children, you can see through them, and most children, um, want to live and fulfill their life every minute of it, and are running around with a joyful smile, singing and laughing and dancing and running and everything. But when you don't see that in a child, you got to know that something's definitely cooking in that brain, and it could be something that's bothering them. So be supportive, be a mentor, guys. Be a mentor to the children around you, your neighborhood, your family, your friends, and try to share the love for the children, because children shouldn't suffer. Um, all right, guys. You guys be good. Thank you for being here. You guys have a good night. And do me a favor, hug the person next to you, and just let them know that you love them, and try to show more people that you do care for them. You guys be safe out there.